Everyone, welcome back once again to our staking DApp project. In the last video, we have built all the functionality which allow us to communicate with our smart contract. Now we're going to start working on our front end and we're going to integrate our crypto wallet and we're going to build a couple of components. So let's start working straight away. So this is where we left in the last video. We have worked on our constants. We work on our index file with all the functionality. So if you haven't watched, make sure to watch the earlier videos. Now we're going to start working on our app.js and build our crypto wallet setup here. So let's close this one. First thing, we're going to simply import a couple of things. So first thing, we have to import our toaster because we have to display our notification which is happening in our contract. So it's coming from React hot toast. Then we have to import our merge our wallet. So we'll take this load slash and there. Once we have that, then we have to import our CSS file. We'll say Rembo get and we have to import the style file CSS. So we got this CSS file. Now we can come back here. We have to import couple of thing from Rembo. So we can simply import the first one is going to be get default wallet. Second one is going to be called Rembo get provider. Third one is going to be dark theme. And we'll have the midnight theme. So these are the four things we are getting from our Rembo get. Got it? Now we can come back here. We have to simply import few things. So it's going to be from wing and there I want to have our chain config chain and we'll have create client and our wing component config. So this will allow us to communicate with the blockchain and these methods are really powerful. We have multiple methods but we need only these three: chain, configure chain, create client and wing config. Now we have to import and this data is coming from our wing slash provider. And right now we have multiple provider to interact with the blockchain and connect. So we can see that we have Acme, Coinbase Node, Infura, JSON RPC, Publix, but we'll go with the JSON RPC, which is very easy and you guys are beginner, that's why I don't want to create more complication. So just go with the basic one, RCP. In that we have to simply get this JSON RPC provider. So this is the method will allow us to communicate with the blockchain. All we have to do is to simply provide the RPC URL and we are ready to interact with the blockchain. Got it? All of this imports we have done. Now we can come here and let's do the environment variable import about the network configuration. So let's call this network setup. So first thing we have to get the RPC URL. So let's call this HOLESKY and this data is coming from our environment variable. So we can come back here and I will simply copy this one and paste here and let's change the data. So this one be HOLESKY and now we can simply import it, replicate that. Chain, this one is going to be the explorer, this one is going to be the chain ID, this will be the currency, and this one will be the decimal, and this one is going to be our name, and this one is going to be the network. These are the variable you have to provide no matter which network you are deploying your contract and launch your application. You have to provide the exact variable right up here in our environment variable. So we have deployed our contract to Ethereum test network. So this is the entire setup I have done for Ethereum. So we have to simply change. So we have done with the currency. Now simply copy the chain ID and chain ID. Then we have to get the network name and we have to call it network name. Then we have to get this decimal. This is the network. Then we have this explorer, copy, and this is the explorer. And last one is going to be our RPC URL for the blockchain. So make sure to provide the exact relevant information for that particular blockchain and your application will work absolutely fine. So we got all of this environment variable. Simply copy, check the spelling, decimal, this is the name and this is the network. Looks good. Network. So we got the environment variable. Now we can ready to build our connection. So let's come back here. Come here. We're going to simply call this network And let's build our chain configuration first. So we're going to say chain, and it will take the provider, and here we have to build that. So we'll call this configure chain, and it's going to take an array of objects. So first take the array, it will have an object. So first thing is going to be the ID, the chain ID. It should be in a number. Then we have to take this net name. Then we have to take the network. We'll have the network. Then we have to take the native currency, and it's going to have an object. It will take the name. Then it will take the symbol. Then it will take our decimal endpoint. So we got it. This is the first set of object data we have. Now we can simply come back here. Now we have to simply configure the JSON RPC URL. So let's build here. So we'll say RPC URL, and it's going to have an object. So we'll have a default. Let's come on a HTTP, and we have this. So we can simply pass our RPC URL. Now we're going to simply go with the public one. It will have the same data, HTTP, and we'll have our RPC URL. Got it? You got it? Now we can simply come here. We have to take this block explorer. Inside that we have to take the default, and in that you have to provide the name. So our blocks explorer, whatever name you have for the blocks explorer for that particular blockchain, you can provide that. So I'll go with this whole scan, because this is what I have found in the blockchain in Etherscan. Then we have to provide the RPC URL for the block explorer. This is the one. Got it? Now we can simply come here, and so currently we are using on the test network, so I have to enable it. So I'll say test net is true, but if I'm using on the mainnet, I can say false. Look good. This is the entire chain configuration we have done for our provider. That's the only thing we have to do. Okay, make sure to provide the relevant information and everything would be working fine. Now we're going to take the second array of object. So this is the first set of that. Now we're going to take the second array. In that we have to configure our chain one more time. So we'll take this JSON RPC provider. It will take the RPC. We're going to take the return function. So we'll take the chain ID if there. Then we have to say if chain is equal to the chain ID we are providing. We have to provide in a number. Then we have to simply return the HTTP and our RPC URL, else we want to return null. And here we have to say priority is going to be first, because we want to have a top priority in terms of connection. That looks good. Wonderful. So this is the exact setup you have to do in our configure chain. Once you're done with that, now we can simply come back here. We can take another variable for connectors, and we'll have a get default wallet. In that we have to simply pass the app name, and we can pass the second one is going to be the chain. So we have our connectors. Now once we have that, now we can simply move to the next one called Wing. We have Wing client, and here we can simply create our clients. We'll say create client. In that we can simply pass our auto connector true. Then we'll say connectors, we already have it, and we'll have a provider which is already we have done the setup. So we'll have in that also. So we are set with our Wing client. Now we can come here and we can simply do the changes in our theme. So we'll say my theme. In that we can simply provide our custom color. So we'll go with the midnight theme, and let's do that. So if you want to change the color, you can change that very easily. So I'll go with this one, because this is the one branding color we are using. So ascent color, and this is the one we have 562C7B, and we have the ascent color for background is going to be white. So that's our theme. All the setup we have done. This is the import. This is the import of the libraries. This is our environment variable, this is the provider, this one is the connector, this one is our Wing client, and theme. Now we are ready to simply wrap our application with our wallet provider. So we can simply come back here, we'll take a Wing config. In that we can simply pass the client, so it's going to be our Wing client, and close this one, and we have to simply cut this and put inside this so we can able to have the access. Now we have to simply build our Rembo kit provider. In that we have to pass the chain ID and the theme. So it will take the chains and it will take the theme, the custom theme we have built. So we'll say my theme and simply close this one and cut this context and paste here component, sorry. And that's the only thing we have to do. Now we can simply import our toaster, so we can display the notification, and that's the entire setup we have done. Looks absolutely incredible. I hope you guys can understand that what exactly we have done. This is the exact setup you have to do no matter which network you are deploying. All you have to do is to simply change the variables for the networks, RPC URL, currency, and everything would be working fine. So that's the entire setup we have to do here in app.js. Looks good. Now we can simply come back here. Now we can simply go close this one, and now we can start working on our pages. So open up your terminal and let's test everything. So let's simply type npm run dev to check that the configuration we have done is working or not. So simply copy this RPC URL 3000 and paste in a new tab and hit enter. Okay, I'm getting this error. So somewhere I have called chain instead of chains, and that's why I'm getting this error. So I know the problem. So maybe we have done here in the problem. So simply close this one, come back in the app.js, and here we have the issue. So here, okay, it's chains, not chain only, S. Now it will work fine. Save it, and now you can see everything is working fine. So we have done the entire setup for our wallet. Looks good. Now we are ready to start working on our page and components. So let's come back to the home page and let's quickly import all the components. Let's quickly import. So first we are going to take this use effect and use state. Then we have to simply import our account, which is coming from Wing. Then we can simply do the internal import of the component. So let's call import, and it's coming from the component directory index. First is the header, hero section, then footer, pools model, withdraw model, withdraw. Then we have partners, statistics. Then we have token loader, notification, ICO cell, contact, and arcs. So these are the components we are importing. You can see we have no issue, everything is look good, and we have done the entire import of the components. Good. Now we can simply import the functionality we have built, because we need couple of functions we're going to attach here. So let's do that. So it's coming from our context/index. So first is going to be the load data, means contract data. Then we're going to have this deposit, we'll have this withdraw, and we'll have this claim reward. So these are the function which you're going to have in the home page, and we'll also have a function of adding token in Metabase. So we got all of this function, looks good. Now we can simply start importing the component. So first we're going to work on two components in this video. So we'll start working on header and footer. So let's import the header and import the footer. So this is the two components we're going to work on this video. So if you check, we have imported both the components. Looks good. Got it. Now we can come back to the code. Let's make it side by side so we can see what exactly we are working on. So we are getting some sort of error. I think I have provided 2 extra dots, so remove this one, and now it's good. Now we're going to start working on our header component first. So come here, go to header, and let's build our header component. So first thing, we're going to import couple of things from React: use effect and use state. Then we have to import the Rembo kit, means connect wallet, connect button. Once we have that, now we have to simply import our account. So we'll say use account. We got these 3. and we can simply do the internal import, and here we have to do the import of our, let's say, icon, we'll say, and we need this token icon, so we'll say md generating token. So these are the import we have done. Now we can simply come here and we can simply take a state variable. So in that we're going to receive a prop, we'll call it page, because we have to redirect the user and we have multiple pages, so based on the pages we have to allow the redirection. So let's take this page as a prop. Let's take a state variable, we'll call it token balance component. So this is what I have. Now we can simply take our menu, it's going to be an array of object, so we'll say navigation, and let's call this array of objects. So first one is going to be the name, and second one is going to be the link. So simply replicate this few times, and here is going to be home. This will be staking, and we'll have this one is going to be crypto, and the last one is going to be, let's call this partners and partners. So when the user will click on the navigation, it will redirect to that particular section. This is the navigation. Now we can start working on our JSX straight away. So let's convert into a header. It will have a class. Let's call this header. There it is, you can see. Let's remove this one, take a div, it will have a class. Let's call this container. Inside that we'll take a div, it will have a class. Let's call this row. Inside that we'll take a div, it will have a class, and we can call this one column 12. Inside that we'll take a div, it will have a class. Let's call this header dash content. Inside that we'll take a button, we'll say class header dash button, and it will have a type, is going to be a button, and we'll have our area label as well, label, and we can call this header dash nav. Inside that we're going to take couple of span, so because we're going to have 3 lines, so remove this one and replicate this. There it is, you can see that's our hamburger. So that's our button, and this is going to be visible only in mobile. Now we have to take our anchor, means the logo. It will have a class. Let's call this header dash logo. Inside that we can take an image tag, and we already have this logo image in our image folder, so svg, there it is, we have our logo. Now we can simply come here, we can display our text message. So this text message will say, it will have a class called header dash tagline, and in that will say crypto king. Now we can simply come here and we can display our navigation. So it will have a class, let's call this header dash nav. It will have an ID, let's call this header dash nav. Inside that we'll take our dynamic block and we're going to render our navigation. So we'll take this navigation.map item index, it's going to be an instant return. We'll take our li, let's close this one, li, close this one. It will have a key, we'll say index, and inside that we'll take an anchor, and this is going to be a dynamic one. So let's build that. We'll say if page is equal to activity, then we want to redirect the user on the home page. That's the first condition. But if the page is equal to admin, then we also want to redirect them to the home page. But if the user on the home page, then we want to redirect them in different section. So let's call this item.link. So this is our dynamic block, and we can simply display our item name, and that's the entire menu. You can see, let's make it side by side, and somehow it's not looking good, something's wrong. Okay, we have to see into this. So you can see the alignment of the component is not good. I guess I made some spelling mistakes somewhere in the code. Okay, I can see that it's 2 space, not 1 space. Save it, and you can see it's perfectly aligned. We got our logo, we got our menu. Now we have to add the button and the toggle menu. That looks good. Let's make it side by side. Let's bring it here, let's drag it here, Now it's not working. Obviously it will not work. We have to build a next one. So we can come back here. Now we can simply call our button connect wallet, connect button, sorry, and there it is. The button is reflecting. User can click and they can connect. Now we can simply come here. Now we can work on our click button. So I just want to simply remove this one. We'll take a style tag and we'll have some margin from left. Let's 10 pixels. There it is. And let's add couple of attributes. So it's going to be, let's say, the for data base toggle. So when we'll click on this particular button, it's going to open the by component model. Got it? Now we have to say type is going to be button, and it will have the data base toggle, and we have to give the toggle ID. It's going to be toggle model, and it will have a class called header dash dash profile. There it is. You can see that. Inside that we can simply display our icon. So we'll take this class. We'll say ti user circle. Inside that we can display our generating token. There it is. User can click, it's going to open the pop-up model. Now we can simply come out of that and we can display our text. So we'll take a span and we'll say token ICO. This will be only visible on the desktop, not on the mobile device. So that looks good. Somehow it's not working. It's working. I have to reload the page. Okay, let's make on the big screen, and you can see this is how it's going to look. Let's reload the page. That's what we have. Let's click on that, and you can see our pop-up model is working absolutely fine. You can connect, you can disconnect. Looks good. Let's give you a password, and you are connected successfully. You can disconnect and you can connect one more time. There it is. You can click and we will go to different section once we'll complete that. Let's make on the mobile spine. Let's click here. Let's click one here. You can see it's working. You have to click on the right spot. Everything is looking absolutely incredible. So we are done with this navigation section. It looks wonderful. And let's make it side by side. Let's break on this side, and you can see if you click, it will open. You can click on this button, it will come. You can click on this, it will throw this error message because this component is not exist. That's why it's getting undefined. So that's on click function is also working fine on our button. So let's reload the page and let's bring it back properly. Okay, let's bring it properly. Let's bring on the left hand and right and drag it here. So this is the entire code for our header component. We are done with that. Now we have to work on the footer. So let's click on the footer, and this is what we exactly going to work now. So let's quickly work on the footer component. So first thing, we're going to simply import a couple of icons. So let's import, and that's coming from our icons. So first is going to be our TI social Twitter, then we'll have the Facebook, and then we're going to have our LinkedIn with a small I. That's the icon. We got it. Now we can simply come here and build our navigate menu, footer menu. So it's going to be an object. So we'll say link is going to be where you want to redirect the user, and we'll have an icon. So it's going to take the Twitter, replicate, and this will be for Facebook. This will be for LinkedIn. So this is our footer menu. Now we can start working straight away on the JSX. Let's change this to footer. Let's add a class. Let's call this footer, change this. Inside that we'll have a div. It will have a class called container. Inside that we'll have a div. It will have a class called row. Inside that we'll have a div. It will have a class called let's column 12, call small 8, call medium 6, call dash large 6, call Excel 4, order is going to be 1, order large device is going to be 4, and order Excel is going to be 1. I hope you guys are familiar with this class structure. So looks good. Open this one. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class. Let's take our footer logo, and in that we're going to take the image tag. We'll have our logo SVG. There it is. Now we're going to display our text. So we'll take this p tag, and I'm going to take the dummy text. So first I'm going to say footer dash tagline, and we'll have a lot of dummy text, and I'm going to remove a couple of lines. This good. We got that. Now we can simply come back here. We'll take a div. It will have a class. Let's call this call dash 6, call medium 4, call dash large 3, call dash actual 2. Order is going to be 3, order dash medium dash 2, order dash large dash 2, order dash XL dash 3, and we'll have a offset. We're going to have like medium 2, and we'll have a offset large 0. We'll take this h6. It will have a class. Let's call it footer dash title. We'll have a company. There it is. Now we have to display the menu, so we'll take a div. It will have a class. Let's call it footer nav. In that we can take an anchor and we can redirect wherever you want. So we'll take about censure, change this to our news, change this to license, and this will be contact us, contact. There it is. You got all of that. Now we can simply copy, paste here, close the div, and we have to do a couple of changes. This will be 8, this will be 6, this will be 4, order is going to be, let's say 2, order medium is going to be 3, order large is going to be 1, and XL is going to be, let's say 2, and remove this one. We don't need this. And I noticed one thing, that just remove this and fix this, and it will fix this. So shave it, and we have to do one more fix. So instead of 6 we have to go with 12 range, and there it is, perfectly aligned. Now we can start building the next set of components. So open that one, take a div. It will have a class. Let's call this row. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class call 12. In that we'll take a h6. It will have a class called footer dash title. In that we can say service and features. There it is. We'll take a div. It will have a class call 6. It will have a div. It will have a class called footer dash dash nav. Inside that we can simply copy this portion and paste here and just change the text. So let's call this one to invest. This will be our token, this will be affiliate, and this will be called context. Simply copy and paste here and change the text. The second set of data is going to be, let's say, safety, auto mobilization. This will be analytic, and the last one is going to be reports. There we have. Looks incredible. You can see we're done with that. Now simply copy this one, paste here, and close this div. Now we have to change in the variable. So instead of 12 we're going to 6. This will be 4, this will be 3, this will be 2, and this will be 4, this will be 4, and this will be 3, and this will be 4. Looks good. Now simply copy this portion, and that's what we can paste here. Let's change this to support and change all of this. This will be help center, this will be how it's work, and this will be our privacy policy, and the last one is going to be terms and condition. Looks good. Perfect. Excellent. Now we can simply leave 3 divs, come down here, and now we have to build the footer copyright. So we'll take a div. It will have a class called row. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called column 12. In that we'll take a div. It will have a class called footer dash dash content. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called footer dash dash social, and we can display our social menus. So map social index, and we can simply return that. So we'll take this anchor, we can take this key is going to be index, href is going to be our link. social.link, and we'll have the target is going to be blank because we want to open a new page, and inside that we can simply display the icon. So we'll take this social, we'll have a class title brand Facebook, and we can simply take this icon. And actually we don't need this class, remove this one. There it is. You can see our icons are displaying fine. Got it? Now we have to display the text. So we'll take this small class is going to be footer dash dash copy right. Inside that we'll take this @ copyright sign. We'll say censure 2024 created by the blockchain coder. So we'll take this anchor tag and you can redirect wherever you want. I'll say target is going to be blank, and this will be the blockchain coder. Got it. And that's the entire footer component we have. So we are done with that. Let's make on the big screen. Let's see one more time. This is the section we have. So this is the first section, this is the second section, this is the third section, and this is the fourth section. If you combine this two, so we have this two section. Looks fine. So we are done with this header and footer components. Looks incredible. Let's make on the small screen, and you can see we have this footer, navigations, everything is working good. You can disconnect and you can connect. So this is the global component we have built. You can see all the different wallet scanner is opening. So looks good. So we are done with this entire footer component. Next we're going to start working on our admin panel. So everything is good. This video is already getting long, so I'm not going to extend this video too much, but in the next video we're going to start working on our entire admin panel. So looks good. So with that, I'm ending this video. Let's move to the next video.